welcome back to Shanghai as VG Gaming J take home the first game of our second series of the day here against Alliance. That marks the 574th career win for Fenrir and FY as a duo. That ties Dendi and Havosh for top 5 all time, and that's a remarkable stat given that the Chinese teams, most of them have very fewer officials than the Western squads. Back here with my 4-man panel, I think for me, the support duo, the support play from FY and Fenrir, as much as anything else, defined that first game.
Solid stuff. FY Fenrir.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
I like it.
A cap approval.
I just get
Very
cap
rare
approved.
indeed.
I'm done. All right, I just got cap approved. Somebody else do the hosting.
Back together, setting the pace, roaming around, turning back the clock a little bit for them. That's how it used to be, and that's. I mean, when they're at their best, that was their peak for those two. And
Yeah, they played kind of separated on the previous patch, but I think it was just because 4 positions and like you were talking about, right?
yeah,
It
the 5
like
was very
supports were there,
Q-like.
too.
You had kind of this defensive lane support,
Yeah.
and one person doing the roaming.
This is the other thing too, is like, I was going to mention it, the level 6s became so important because you said the pre-15-minute Roshan, it was like right around level 12, or around minute 12, where Kunkka got 6, and then as soon as that happened, like both of them just booked it over to the Roche area, and then they knew that they were going to be able to take it, and Alliance wasn't even able to contest. Like Roche is at 70 HP, Wind Ranger scouted it out with the power shot, and they just couldn't do anything about it. So I think also Alliance going back and like maybe taking some other team fight heroes that can actually go in and contest, if we did see an Ursa again, could be a good way to go about it.
That was another limitation too that we didn't really talk about, like not just the cores and having to fight and such, but you had a fighting core, obviously aggressive playing the Ursa, who also takes Roche, and Alliance really just a terrible lineup for taking Roshan as well. So each Roche that VGJ manages to secure just makes it that much harder to fight into.
I was thinking about openers. I think that Crystal Maiden is still one of the better supports to open with because it's relatively versatile, but like first pick, I think it's going to be very interesting for as we progress in this tournament, what teams pick up a core. Specifically offlane, I think, is the most likely because I think offlane has the most limited options for a strong opener. And Darkseer, I think Darkseer, Legion Commander, and I mean Tide proved to be pretty successful in that game. I'm not sure if you can run Tide in the 1-2, but I think those kind of offlaners are going to be your potential first pick cores.
And I like if you're going to open with a support, I like the Leshrac open so much better than the Wind Ranger open because this is a hero that is just guaranteed and very stable tower damage. And we are, for the first time today, going to get to see the Sven, the hero that's just absolutely catapulted up, now has the top pub win rate in all of Dota 2. This is a hero, his stacks are back, his ult is now huge, especially at level 1 relative to what it was before.
Alliance just need to play the style that VGJ played in the last game. You know, just play pretty defensive, play around each other, play for defending your towers, and stack up those ancients until Sven. That's the other thing. Is like Sven fits this patch because he's still a timing push hero. He is an unstoppable menace once he gets his basic items. Gets his BKB and turns golden and turns red and mean and angry and hits your tier 3. You don't know what to do.
And this is interesting too because the Treant Protector left on the table. I believe that this is the first time that it has not been banned in the first stage. And despite the nerf, it's no longer a bash coming out of Nature's Guise. VGJ are going to pick this up. Fenrir hugely confident with this hero.
Yeah.
I think
the other thing I was going to mention is that it's like it's now doubling down on what they were doing last game as well, which is team fight, and then trying to figure out where they want to go next with Roche. I still think that Ursa's quite strong. It might be a little bit tough against the Sven, but I was wondering, is there any chance at all that this does end up being like a Lesh in the core role? I saw Freeze playing it a little while ago, and obviously it's for VGJ, but you talked a lot about heroes that push out the creep wave, apply pressure onto the mid-tier 2 tower or tier 1 tower. Like, is there any place to that at all for that hero in this
sure.
role?
I think it's similar to what we talked about with the Wind Ranger in the previous draft, that it's kind of a 70-30. open.
Yeah.
Like we may well see it put mid if the matchup ends up being very favorable, but I don't think by any means it's like a close to a top tier mid hero.
I think also the Leshrac was picked in anticipation of the Train Protector. I believe Alliance actually left Train Protector out there and thought it was going to be first pick. But VGJ in the mind games of this actually picked up Darkseer and passed over to Alliance, because if they picked up Tree, then they were afraid of Alliance actually getting Darkseer, which again is one of the better counters to the Train Protector and Living Armor, which I personally think is still the most impactful spell of this hero. So it was kind of like this mind game back and forth. They picked up Darkseer, no Train Protector picked up by Alliance. They grabbed Leshrac, which is a very good answer to the Train Protector as well. But VGJ decided it's still a strong enough hero to pick up despite the Leshrac pick. Also, as to core and support, I think because of this Fen, that leans more towards Leshrac being a support.
Yes.
Because you have a core that gives you a setup stun, which is really important.
Yeah, that
It
lane
allows
is
them to threaten a Darkseer too. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Jakiro possibly picked up here by Alliance as well. Another way of just nullifying that living armor. It gives them another way of sieging towers. Like even if those are both your supports, there is a setup for them already, and both of them can take down objectives very quickly. If they expect VGJ to go for this kind of defensive, greedier big core lineup, which they ran successfully last game. So.
I like that idea, especially given I think Sven right now is just an absolute powerhouse at level 6. Right, if you compare a level 6 Sven is typically with items going to have strength in the low to mid 50s, and that means that with 16 strength and the slightly lower bonus damage, he's actually getting 10% more damage than he was in the previous patch, plus 300 max HP with God Strength active at level 6.
I was going to say, like, having another sort of setup for initiation on VGJ would be quite strong. I was thinking Sand King, because that's something that's been like running around China all over the place, but I'm not sure if it ends up fitting so well now. I'm wondering if it's like maybe something that has a BKB piercing disable, like a Bane, or I don't know, for VGJ a little bit later on, because they do need a way to deal with Sven BKB that they know is going to come out, and they are going to run the Chen and Skin. Oh my goodness.
This is such a sick draft by Alliance, just totally different than their previous game. I mean, this draft, if they get a laning advantage, this draft just eats towers.
Oh man, I almost heard what he said. He spoke pretty loudly just now, and I almost hear something about this pick. I didn't pick it up though. RTK on the chin.
Damn it, Jack.
RTK is yelling in the
Why
draft
the hell
already.
are you on this panel if you're not actually hearing them?
Yeah, I should just camp out over there or sit under the RTK's computer.
Did he sound
Give
pleased?
you the feed.
Can we go to the sideline reporter Jack, who's sitting there listening to ROTK as we speak? I think you definitely need. I'm kind of leaning towards like Storm Spirit or something. I think you need to find mobility out of VGJ. Yeah, I think you need to be able to.
I think you can still troll, which is something that they've done in the past, and that solves your Sven BKB problem. Gives you the evade to deal with I
don't think you necessarily want to man fight too much into Alliance. I much prefer attacking the back line of this lineup, particularly since they do have such weak and susceptible supports.
Mobility, yeah.
They have a Crystal Maiden for obviously like helping to freeze the Chen creeps as well. If they want to go further in that direction, they consider picking up a Clinks, a hero that kind of helps from the aura a little bit early on, is a strong laner, can cut into the backlines, and can also just automatically destroy a creep himself as well, although the cooldown is a bit longer.
I was thinking of that as well, but I think the Warcry is too problematic for you as a Clinks.
And I think they're going to have plenty of bursts by the time. Yeah, I expected Alliance to pick up a team fight a hero for their offlane position, and I think by the time Alliance rounds out their draft, they're just going to have too much burst damage for a Clinks to handle.
Really tough position to be in. Like, I think that they didn't really want to take CM there, but they needed a way to deal with Chen creeps running at them in the early stages, and now it's like, do you want to take something? I mean, Jug's already been banned out too. God, there's so many things that you need to sort of contend with at this point, and you have a ton of things that are going to be able to, like, I just think that BKBs on the lineup of Alliance do start to become a pretty big problem as well. And
yeah, okay, and this is sort of their comfort pick. They're stable. The freeze Lina mid. They've had quite a bit of success with this hero, and it does address the Sven BKB if she goes Ags.
The hell are they going to pick for their last vote?
what?
what beats this lineup. Because if you pick a too much of a late game hero, then you are leaving yourself open to not having enough impact out of your one position.
It's still there.
I
mean, aggressive plays that hero quite well.
I think that hero doesn't give you high ground potential then. Like, if you go too focused on early game, like if you don't give yourself a pushing hero, then Alliance beats you out late game. And then if you give yourself too much of a late game hero, then Alliance could walk over you in the early mid game.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking of it as, you know, you can't pick one hero and check every box. And you have to actually be able to win a fight.
Maybe it's the gyrocopter time.
Maybe it's the Medusa again.
Yeah.
I think the pushing heroes is the best option.
I think if you pick Medusa here, you just get run over. The gyro, what a call by Lyrical.
You need magic damage dealers for sure. But Brewmaster,
that's a really good pick.
Like, he lets you win those early team fights, sort of, before BKB comes out, but then you also have at least a little bit of an answer late game. If you can wear those BKBs down, it's tough.
Yeah, but
I still don't know if I like it.
Feels like a bit of an overly squishy core as well with some of the combos that Alliance is able to pull off, so I'm not sure how that's going to work.
All right, well, guys, we'll have you do our predictions. Shout out to EGB.com, our sponsor here. Do we know for sure who's going to win? Jack, what do you think?
I kind of like Alliance's draft here. I'm giving this one to Alliance again.
Okay.
I think so, too. I actually really like the Brewmaster, too. Yeah. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think the Brewmaster was a solid team fight disruptor. They've got Sven late game. That's good enough for me.
I agree. I think it's going to be a clean sweep for Alliance, so we're going to find out if our panel here can put our money where our mouths are. One more time for Game 2, back to Lacoste and Coddle Guy.
Thank you so much, Nahaz, on the panel. I'm here at the caster desk with my good buddy Lacoste, and we are getting into Alliance versus VGJ. No one heard that. No one heard that. Game number 2. So we're going to see some fun 7.06 picks here for Alliance. They go right in for the Sven, the new Sven, stronger as ever, and also the Chen. Not Ake Chen, but, oh my goodness, what is this? Oh, maybe we should just shut up and enjoy. Oh, okay, we're allowed to keep talking, apparently. So just some epic intro here as we get into the action now. Look at that gorgeous map.
Oh, look at that tree.
Look at that tree.
So Alliance in the second game with a better lineup. Their lineup in game 1 was kind of questionable. It was like all-in magical damage. Right now they have enough heal, enough sustain, good armor boost from Sven against that gyro. Yeah. Good team fight and a good push also, especially with Chen and Sven's ulti. Also,
oh man, we might have a Royal Rumble right to start, and it is going to be VGJ in possibly the better position. Here they go, 5-on-5. There's a huge stun coming out, and it's going to be Alliance looking to rip through at the start of this one. They do eat a good connection right there and get locked in their place. Only the Crystal Maiden actually goes down.
Woo! All right, in the game number 2, we have Alliance versus VGJ. First clash at minute 1. In the previous game, it was at like minute 20.
Here we go.
All right.
All right. You just got to warm up the chat wheel. You know, when you get into a game, you just got to warm it on up and make sure you're ready to go. There's one new item build. I'm curious your thoughts on it, and if we may see it here. For Aggressive's Gyrocopter, remember the new changes now to Mask of Madness. You could now take it apart and bring it back to its now quarterstaff and Morbid Mask root. So Gyrocopter could technically start with that, farm with it, and then split it later on into something like the Satanic and Butterfly.
Well, that's not a bad idea, actually. But the problem is Gyro's spells have low cooldown, especially the first one, so he needs to have it in the fight. Once he uses it, he can't because he's silenced. Yeah.
I think that possible Mask of Madness build-up is a little bit more likely on heroes like Luna, let's say, but I remember Gyro being considered as one of those possible options, and we'll just have to see if there's going to be any new tech, if you will, coming out for Aggressive in 7.06 or not. He has played that hero since his CDEC day back at TI5, where they came second. he was feared on that hero. It was PL and Gyrocopter were like the aggressive duo. It was quite ridiculous here. But the fifth pickup here from Alliance, the Brewmaster now being in the mid lane, and they're also ganking as well, possibly. Oh, look what they attempted to with EGM. But what do you think about the mid lane Brew?
Mid lane Brew, I think it's underused, especially the Brew in general as a hero. With the recent buffs, I mean, that hero is just insane. His levels will come up really quickly this game, especially on the mid, and he can control both Darkseer and Gyro in the big team fights. Also really good for pushing, especially with Sven and Chen. Just throw ulti out there, control the others in the back lines, and just kill the tower.
Do you think we could see Brewmaster go back for the Agnum Scepter? It's an old build-up, but, you know, it's 7.06. I really don't know if they're going to be trying some new experimentation or going back to old or anything like that. I don't know how much value they find in the new Brewmaster ulti or not.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, it's pretty much unexplored this patch, so you can do whatever you want.
Lots of theory crafting this event from us, I'm sure. Already, Jonas is going to be just in his way through a side camp there that's being possibly contested. Limp's looking to move in. He does manage to grab up that illusion room for himself. Obviously, Freeze not going to be too happy about it. Pew, pew, pew. The golden rockets flying out here from Aggressive right now. They are going to be able to get the Frostbite, and Jonas will be forced to burrow away to safety. It's a challenging lane. No surprise, but Sand King continues to hold his own. And EGM roaming Lesh. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen any of that. And then again, I haven't casted too much Alliance recently here, but he adds a lot to what people are looking for in this meta, or what they feel like is going to be successful. Great ways to spam out the waves, burst down the tremendous amount of creeps that are on the map now and in the jungle, and bursting through towers too, pushing into high ground.
Yeah, also his Diabolic Edict just removes the Treant's armor.
Oh yeah, very true. Nice stun setup here. Loda getting in some good shots onto ROTK, but that's when Fenrir steps in, pops the lead seat onto EGM, and will slow the roll of Alliance. Now it's going to be Freeze, hit with the clap, has to turn back the other direction, but Handskin's rolling in now, and he's got some friends. They're going to lay down the net, and that is going to be a takedown of the mid lane.
Yeah, seems like Alliance actually learned something from the game one. They want to be in control this game, from the early game to the mid game, maybe even finish it there.
They're not going to stop with the rotations. It looks like Chen's already heading his business all the way up to the top lane too. They're pinging out for possible call to action here. Loda could entice ROTK and Fenrir to continue to fight and then hit him with the Chen later, but it does look like we're going to take this business all the way back into the tower for now. And Chen possibly looking for new setups again on the mid lane. Really looking to punch down Freeze if possible.
That Lena is bootless.
He's pushing forward. He's making the move. They're going to be rolling in now. Limp is going to get hit with the stun, but they're going to connect with not just one stun, a net, a root, a centaur stomp. And Freeze is getting into a world of hurt in this mid lane.
This Chen with early rotations. Okay, Treant might be in trouble.
He already pre-plants the sentry as well, and then begins to go to work. Amps up the damage, hits him with the root. Oh, they actually miss with the stun, but it doesn't matter. They are going to be able to burn through him with the Edict, and it is going to be EGM who picks up the last hit. 4-0 already for Alliance at the start of game number 2. Looking at the CS2, I can't help but notice Aggressive with 23 denies on his Gyrocopter. Have mercy, my man. He's gobbling up all the free XP he can and is trying to really take a lot away from the Sand King there.
The previous patch was the Midas Dota. Right now it's Deny Dota. You get so much more from denying. Look at 28, 26.
That's quite crazy. We'll be seeing some new Deny records, I'm sure, in Dota at the start of this patch. And that lane has become theirs. It looks like Jonas is actually going to be joining in the mid lane festivities here. They've managed to get Freeze out of the lane entirely and possibly attempt to just move on in for the tier 1 instead. Oh, Freeze is making his return, but it's not going to be at a good time. Jonas is right around the corner. He shows himself, and then that's when they strike. They'll be leading with the early burrow strike. Here comes the Chen army. There's no way Freeze makes his way out of this one. And it is going to be a killing spree now for Limp. 5-0 Alliance just going off the rails already.
Yeah, Chen took the enemy forest, full vision with Panda ulti level 6 and rotation from Sanking. They really can't do anything about that tower anymore.
Is any part of it something that I believe I heard Jack talking about on the panel previously when Chen came up in conversations? Like a lot of these Chinese teams just don't have a lot of comfort going against Chen, even playing it. So this is just out of their comfort zone already. Alliance leading and strong. They get the takedown of ROTK. They are going to be able to bring down the Chen on this one, but Aggressive could end up going down in the end. Frostbite's going to be coming out, but it's only on the Fire Panda. They continue to rush on forward. They will end up losing Jonas, though. Are they going to finally get Aggressive down? It doesn't look like it. They're chasing it hard for it. They will manage to connect with the Rock, but he's still living on. He dishes out the barrage, and they'll get the takedown of Limp.
They were outnumbered. There was only 3 heroes for Alliance against 5 of VGJ. Okay, it was actually 4 ROTK.
No, he got taken down, actually.
Yeah,
ROTK was there swinging, and he ended up getting dropped. It took a lot from VGJ to pull all hands on deck to defend that one. Alliance, as you mentioned, just a bit short on manpower and maybe a bit too overzealous. They'll get punished on that one. VGJ finally scrapped together a couple of kills for themselves, and okay, that's a big stack. Who's going to farm that sweet thing? Probably Gyrocopter, I imagine.
Yeah, we want to see Gyro's items so we can see what he's building into. Show us, please.
You're going to have to wait there, sir. Oh, Obs Ward right behind the tower here. Looks like VGJ have plans to move to this bottom lane soon and overtake the tier 1 as fast as possible. If Chen is going to take control of our jungle, we'll take theirs. Already got some good vision in there right now, but here they're going to be able to secure the tier 1. FY is thinking about creeping in there.
Fenrir is too far away.
To go for it. Yeah, too far to be able to find connection. He's still chasing that Sand King there on the bottom, but there's obviously pressure coming in from the top lane now from Alliance. They're looking to go for the finish on the tier 1. There we see Fenrir swinging arms with Jonas for the 8-minute bounty rune. But nothing will come out of it. Alliance will get their tier 1 in the top, and it's a trade both sides.
Well, Lina needs to get back into the game. She's pretty much under farm to go on top.
Oh, follow-up stuns there from EGM. And all the easier. Lotus simply has to spot out the Darkseer with a stun, and the rest of the Alliance squad will be able to move in and help clean up. Fenrir is able to leech a lot of XP from that stack that Jonas is trying to farm up. And in fact, they're rotating more manpower on the way. They have that sentry already down. And this is when they're going to be looking to strike. Suddenly, a call down comes from above. Jonas goes right in towards the shrine, hits it up, and it's actually healing him pretty good, and the rotations are going to be coming in from Alliance. Now it's feeling like a better fight for them to take, and Limp begins to go to work. Hits it with a Thunderclap, begins to go into the ulti. Meanwhile, they will be able to get the finish onto Fenrir. Now it's Aggressive on the run. They beat him down with the rock, and they throw him up into a Cyclone. EGM looking to wait for him here, but he's low on mana. Slowly, they'll be able to whittle down this Gyrocopter, and they'll finally catch him with the clap. Turnaround misfire, though, as Freeze is going to be able to get a good Laguna catch and take down of EGM, but still a better trade from Alliance. Plus, they have Loda pushing and farming through this top lane.
Yeah, Loda's been free farming this game. Also, you always need to be careful about going into enemy shrine. People can TP, and this time it was ready, so Sand King was actually healing instead of taking the damage.
I guess they were just banking on the capability of being able to bring that Sand King down super fast before Alliance would be able to respond, but good heads up there from Jonas on that play. Meanwhile, top lane, Wall going to be committed here. The chase is on for Loda. He's getting sent back, though, and he's gone. Attempted gank from VGJ is going to be coming up a bit short.
Okay, so we have a Mask of Madness. It's not on Gyro, but at least it's on Sven, right?
Yeah. And the same thing applies. Later on, just could take it apart, turn it into a Satanic and Butterfly or something. I don't know. But
Echo Saber.
It's even better fitting for someone like Sven. He has the power of being able to just bring in all that extra armor when he uses the mask. So he's going to be scary when he goes into his God Strength. And if anyone's in front of him, I don't imagine they're going to be lasting too long. Alliance back on the move, though. They rotate up towards the top lane here. ROTK has been eating a serious amount of punishment. And we're going to be seeing Aggressive chunk his way through that stack. Early Yasha buildup, but I'm curious where he takes it from there.
Yeah, that was a big stack what Freeze needed to get back into the game. He's staying there for some XP and we'll get some gold from it. Also, the item build on Sven, he might even go for S and Y this game because, okay, they go on top.
Can they get him? Lead-in's going to be there. FY connects with the Frostbite. Loda's able to turn around, get the stun. Limp shows up, follows up, moves in with the Blink Stomp. They put their focus onto ROTK, and it looks like they will be able to bring down the little pointy-headed son of a gun. For everyone else on VGJ, they quickly disperse and TP out to safety.
It's hard to take down Sven without Lina being there. I mentioned S and Y on Sven because they already have a Blink Dagger on Panda, and one is going to be picked up by Sanking, so he might not want to rush it.
After the takedown of ROTK, Alliance put their full attention, it looks like, towards this top lane. They're looking to move in and grab up a tier 2. Very forward with their objective taking here, and that's feeling like the right approach. At this moment in time, Alliance seem to be on another level. VGJ can't really square up in the same fight.
Yeah, VGJ struggling. Treant Protector and Crystal Maiden are still level 5, both of them.
Very rough. Tomes are out now, but they're going to need more. VGJ, though, adamant, defending the rest of that tier 2. It looks like they will be able to go for the deny, but the rest of Alliance take their leave and look to farm elsewhere, it would appear. They've done their job. They were able to get a good pick, move forward, add some pressure, and force out rotations from VGJ towards this top lane.
Yeah, Fenrir with aggressive build, Tranquil Boots into Orb of Venom, also with 3 points in level 1 skill. They don't have enough to actually hold the towers with it and heal them.
Look at this approach from VGJ. Looking to come in from behind the tower. They will connect with the Frostbite. EGM torn to shreds on that one with the help of the call down coming up from Aggressive. Alliance can't stand and hold. They already saw the rotation from Loda down to that bottom lane. So they knew that if anyone from Alliance were there waiting behind the tower, they were going to be able to take advantage. It's a good move in, and they're going to be able to claim a tower for themselves and their path to recovery here from the early games, VGJ.
I just hope ROTK reset his mind from the previous game. He was so tanky. Now he needs to stand a little bit back. He's only 3k net worth on the Darkseer.
Tough road for ROTK on this one now, as he is building up for the mech. So similar get up there. Still, though, not as fast as you would like for your Darkseer. It was a punishing laning experience for him.
It looks more like a 20-minute mech. Oh.
Ooh, jump over. Limp spots out Freeze. They make the move in. The double lockdown's there, and no living armor is going to be able to save that lady. Swift takedown of Freeze and possible hunt for Aggressive. He doesn't even want the bounty rune. He's getting the hell out of there. Alliance will not be able to get close enough. It looks like Fenrir will show himself in an attempt to slow them down. Regardless, he's spotted, and he is executed.
Crystal Maid on top, just trying to get at least some levels. Meanwhile, they lost the bottom 1 tower, and the Alliance is not stopping. With this Chen, they can easily take it down.
Glyph comes out, but this is only going to be delaying the inevitable here. Alliance are just stampeding their way down each of these lanes. No defense in sight. These are going to be tier 2s, it looks like, across the board if they'd like future Roche attempt. And Alliance is really dictating the whole game, it looks like.
Yeah, this more seems like an Alliance game. It's like what they play. They got the hands on the Chen. They like to play like a semi-push strategies, take control of the game, and then just finish it. I mean, both of these teams are actually in the kind of a same position. Both of them failed to qualify for Summit and Epicenter.
So when you're considering the fact that, you know, for Alliance, certainly this is their one land showing before TI. They got to make the most out of this. VGJ do have this, and VGJ is already invited to the Summit, so they do have the opportunity to be able to perform on that land. But, I mean, you're right. When you're looking at the Chinese scene, most people would probably not look at VGJ as the #1. So this is their chance to be able to take that spot back, where a lot of people are probably eyeballing teams like IG instead.
Last time I saw Alliance playing on LAN was WESG, if I'm not mistaken.
It's been a while for him, and obviously the game has changed quite a bit since then. You wonder almost if this kind of recent change, 7.06, benefits a team like Alliance even better. As you were saying, they're just notoriously known for a lineup that loves to push forward for objectives and secure good laning phases. And it looks like the Chen is definitely a step in the right direction for them. I would not be surprised if after this game we'll be seeing a lot of respect bans on that Chen, but we'll see if I'm going to be speaking too soon or not.
Yeah, this is how Alliance played since they get together. A lot of heal, a lot of push, and that's their like signature strategies.
Loda already back into action here in the top lane. After completing that Mask of Madness, he got his Echo Saber done. And it looks like next step on the docket is possibly going to be, it looks like a BKB here. Bottom lane. They make the move from aggressive. Fenrir's forced to step in and dish out the root to slow them down. But they still are catching a hold of aggressive here, locking him in his place. It looks like eventually he may be able to make it free. Fenrir hides within the trees. But look at the chase continue. They finally are able to get the catch-up play with the help of Jonas. And the gyrocopter will go down. And now they're looking for the little lady, FY. And doesn't look like she'll be able to find a way to juke herself through these trees. Eventually, Alliance will be able to get in there and get her down. 2 dropped and a pushback from Alliance in the bottom lane.
7K net worth lead for Alliance. These support duo from VGJ are not doing that much of work as they did in the previous game. I mean, they're struggling. CM and Treant are level 5, 17 minutes in. It's kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, Tree's level 6 now. But look how much XP he gets from like one little creep takedown, and then he dies. Back to the drawing board for him. Hanskin will pick up that kill. The Courier does go down, which is the one favorable pick there, I guess, for Fenrir, but I don't think that's going to be stopping Alliance anytime soon. Loda previously was able to also get the finish onto that tier 2 in the top lane, so the only tier 2 remains for VGJ is in this mid lane now. They are trying their best to farm up what they can to prepare for the Alliance pressure. Looks like RTK has his mech complete, but can't help but question whether it's going to be enough.
Well, the burst damage coming out from Alliance this game is so much stronger than in the previous one. And with BOTs finished on Panda, he can just be on another lane where whenever Darkseer or Gyro try to split push, he can just TP and join a fight after that.
All right, it looks like VGJ are actually going to be the team to possibly look to go on the move. They have popped a smoke, and the 4 of them outside of Freeze, they begin to go on the move. It looks like they may have to settle for EGM. No, they found a better target in Limp. They get the vacuum pullback, but he's able to get the split off, and he's going to be fine. Freeze, though, is able to find the Laguna, catch on to EGM, but this is when Alliance can move in and take the better of the fight. Here comes Loda. He's got the God Strength out, but there's a beautiful root coming out from the tree on this one. An attempted freezing build from FY, looking to do as much as damage as possible, will help them in getting the finish of Jonas, and now a root lockdown onto Loda will help him get the finish. Suddenly it's VGJ taking the better end of this fight. The only survivor being Hanskin for Alliance. This will earn VGJ also the tier 1 takedown. And a pretty damn good gold exchange. As you can see, a 3K gold swing after that fight.
This is exactly what VGJ needed. This Gyro with this build actually becomes so tanky and so mobile. Look at his movement speed. It's when the phase boots is on, it should be around 500. Yeah.
Was not expecting such a violent turnaround there for VGJ in the mid lane. Looked like almost a bit of an awkward approach. They had to settle a bit between, you know, either Limp or EGM. They finally got a hold of Limp, but he still was able to get the Brewmaster ulti off. But even with the wall kind of being wasted on that one, VGJ just kind of manipulate through the trees and have such great ultis.
It's going to be a different fight once Loda finishes his BKB. He was perma-rooted from Crystal Maiden and Treant Protector.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Loda had such a struggle on trying to get close enough. His God Strength was pretty much totally wasted, being rooted down from the tree. And even outside of that, tree kept coming out, just knocking him in the face and rooting him down again. And here we see that tree stalking Limp a bit, but just more on that intel mission, giving VGJ the idea on what the hell's happening here.
The Roche is up.
could see either of these teams moving in and going for it, really.
Yeah, VGJ's lineup really doesn't kill Roche fast. Alliance, they do have a good Roche. Yeah, there are.
I mean, they have a crap ton of creeps here to move in and soak it up, I guess. And they will go in and begin to go to work. Doesn't seem like VGJ are going to really have any say in the matter at the moment. They don't seem to be around whatsoever, and Alliance have already covered the whole perimeter with some vision. So this Roche is as good as theirs. VGJ will attempt to stall things out. They're pushing all the side lanes in the meantime. They've already shown that they could take a strong fight, but they're going to probably try to avoid any further confrontation with Alliance while they have this Aegis, unless they're forced to go into a high ground defensive position.
VGJ, they didn't want to contest Roche. They knew they were there. There was pings coming out, but they managed to take a tier 2 tower on bottom, and they're just continue to creep on farms on top and in the jungle, so still worth it for them. Now, when the BKB is up on Swen, they want to take the tier 2 tower on the mid. Oh, they found Fenrir.
Whoa! He heads out the other way. They plant a new sentry inside. He could be spotted under that one, but Alliance are shifting back a bit. Plant a new sentry, quickly get rid of that one. Now Alliance could shift position. ROTK quickly goes to the high ground here, and Alliance slither out the other direction.
Slither out again, huh?
Yeah. Looks like Alliance are going to continue their parade down this mid lane. They have Limp back at the bottom lane defensive there. But the rest of Alliance are considering a potential fight approach here. Now, obviously, Aggressive is farming his way through. He has his BKB now done and has slotted up a Butterfly to come next, in hopes of getting the upper hand in a trade with the Sven.
Yeah, Sven is naturally not a MKB carrier. He might go for one or just go like Orchid into Bloodthorn. It's a more valuable item.
Ooh, a dust attempt here, but they spot ROTK up and above, and they quickly jump onto him. They will get him down, and it looks like Aggressive tries to move in to help out with his call down, but now he's going to be the one possibly isolated. He quickly pops his BKB and runs out from trouble. The rest of VGJ will attempt to follow suit, and it looks like they will. Alliance will take the single pick and take the tier 2, it looks like. Plus, with ROTK not being there, that is the best high ground defense, but VGJ are pushing that bottom lane pretty hard, it looks like. And they're going to be forcing some Alliance members back. And look at this! The person forced back is Jonas, and he finds himself eating a Laguna. He will be fine, makes it back indoors, and hits the shrine.
Whoa.
But Freeze is suddenly sieging away, about to take the tier 3. They burrow him in just in time, but he's able to get the finish, and he heads up north and away from trouble. Meanwhile, though, FY, I don't think he's going to be just as lucky. He holds the rest of Alliance there and will finally take him down. Loda just misses the TP out from Freeze.
Oh, and they only lost the Blue Sister.
Uh-oh. And it looks like they will lose Fenrir on top of that. But VGJ take a tier 3.
Still VGJ doing really good evading these fights when Sven BKB is 10 seconds and ready plus Aegis. They don't want to fight into that, so they're just stalling as much as they can.
I gotta say, for now at least, doing a pretty damn good job of it. But Alliance get back to the grind. Get back to the mid lane and get back to finishing this frickin' tier 2 and get it down. A new challenge ahead of them, though. The high ground approach is going to be a bit different from Alliance than any other one. Getting the creeps in there is, you know, always a bit awkward, takes up more space, and that becomes the Darkseer's turf, too.
Yeah, Alliance need the more farm on their heroes to actually siege the tier 3 against Crystal Maiden, Lina. It's so hard to take them down. You can initiate, but I think you don't want to dive too deep.
This'll come in handy.
And VGJ will get themselves back out, back into the farm here. Freeze had a struggle of a start on this one, brought down 2-3 times to the power of the Chen in the early game, but you know, since he's picked up his Bloodstone, hasn't really died yet. Has 16 charges and has been really able to kind of force Alliance to pull off from what they're hoping to do. So he's found good work in the latter half of this game, and look at this, it's VGJ continuing to kind of press on forward here. I mean, Alliance is the team with the Aegis, but, you know, VGJ have not backed down from a fight, really, at all.
Well, Fenrir just providing that intel for his team, just being there. Dies from time to time. He's 0-5, but still it gives his team enough space to actually come back into the game.
Okay, then. Ion Shell call down actually comes out from aggressive here in the mid lane to just kill some Chen creeps. Kill it! If it touches him, he dies. He died. And Alliance are now just kind of working their way through their own jungle in the meantime here. Nice scan read, though, from Alliance. They'll spot out Freeze in the trees, and then they'll move in to make the strike. He tries to go to the Shadow Blade, but he just instantly denies himself. He'll be back shortly because of the Bloodstone with about 10 seconds time, but it looks like Alliance will get a follow-up takedown in Fenrir nearby. Good scan, a read from Alliance on that one. Well,
Alliance needs to get a gem on their side, probably Lash or on Chen. This Treant Protector is just giving too much vision and buying too much time for this team. Also for Shadowblade on Lina.
Outside of that, though, like you were saying before, Alliance have put more attention onto their own farm so that they can prepare for taking tier 3s. But VGJ have continued to delay them from doing that a bit. I think a Laguna went off. Oh, someone's dead. EGM mid lane. Bottom lane, meantime. Oh! Nice 3-man vacuum pullback for ROTK, waiting for the follow-up there. And it's going to be, unfortunately, aggressive, looking to move in and getting tossed right up into a Cyclone. He'll be forced to go into BKB and tries to get a hold of Alliance members, but they quickly go for the Delta split. They will settle on for Handskin and take out the Chen. The rest of Alliance head out the other direction and inside.
They're doing such a good work, just kiting around with Treant, and Darkseer is the one, again, tanking all the damage, especially from Panda. I mean, Panda needs to Yule one and focus the other one, who is doing the same thing on the same hero. Oh, they can take the Shrine because tier 3 tower is down. Ooh. Okay, gem on Panda.
Look at the net worth. This game is pretty much even. Yeah, that's quite surprising for the advantage that Alliance had built up for themselves. It's already aggressive, actually, at the top of the net worth now. Things have totally stunted for Alliance, it feels. Oh! Laguna out, Jonas is down. Huge call down does come down from aggressive. Limb stuck inside, Loda eating a lot of the damage. Freeze heads out and away. They can't quite chase, and aggressive's on the other side, getting the finish for EGM. VGJ pulling apart Alliance from both sides here. Loda moves in to slash down FY, but he gets hit with the root. He's trapped between 3, and he's going to get shredded apart. Double kill from aggressive on this one. VGJ are back in action now, and now I begin to fear for Alliance suddenly.
Alliance...
this game got away from them real quick.
Yeah, it went from 10k net worth in their favor to 5 to 6k or into VG's favor. Once their BKBs are activated, the VGJ just instantly turns back.
And now it's VGJ inside the bottom lane looking to go for the Raxes, which have already been exposed due to the work that Freeze did earlier. They have no Loda. They don't want to have to force out his buyback now, so they'll just wait the 15 seconds. This will cost them a Rax.
So just wait to lose the Rax, right? Saving a buyback for the next game is not always a good choice, especially if you're losing 1-0.
VGJ will walk away with the 1 Rax. And back to the farm grind for them. This is concerning for Alliance. What can they do now? It's not like they've been able to really accumulate any serious additional items since they were pushing tier 2s, but now you're fighting into an even stronger VGJ lineup. I just am curious what Alliance do at this point, you know? You move forward and try to smoke and take a surprise approach to VGJ, or?
Yeah, or they might wait for the next Roche, which should be up pretty soon, but right now VGJ can really contest it, especially with the Blink on Darkseer and full Butterfly on aggressive.
He is going to be going for the Eye of Scotty next.
That's going to be a big problem, that they have no true strike against that Butterfly.
Here's Alliance now, smoked, moving.
My thrift rewards.
Scouting out for the Roche, but it's not up yet. Fortunately for them, it's got about what looks like nearly 2 minutes before it's going to be ready to go. VGJ on their side of the river. Waiting towards the high ground. I mean, they obviously are going to be checking the map. They have good, deep vision, and they'll see that Alliance is nowhere around. So they know something's going on. Alliance have got to be somewhere near this Roche pit. Freeze will take the first peek. Hi, how's it going?
Oh, interesting build on Lina with a pike. So some extra range and also
Kiting
extra save for kiting around Sven and Panda plus sanking.
And outside of the BKB timing, that's exactly what's happening to this Sven. He just gets kited around so much.
Sadly for Alliance there was no Roche being alive. It looked like max respawn time.
And one definitely for the better of VGJ. And now they've been able to kind of take back over the ancient camp side of Alliance. And after pushing through that top lane, they're going to get back into moving in for high ground. And another high ground approach. And if you can see on the net worth graph, this at one point was an Alliance game near 7.5K to 10K of a net worth advantage, and we're 180 the other side. Here comes.
Also, Solar Crest finished on Crystal Maiden, so that extra evasion again casted on allies. I don't think this Sven has enough to actually deal the damage.
They almost blow a bit of their load onto this illusion of aggressive, but they hold themselves off a bit, and it's just kind of bringing in the extra intel. They read exactly where Alliance is, and it totally disrupted the whole smoke approach from Alliance. Very concerning, but Alliance are looking to take a fight where possible. Limp already making the move in. ROTK, though, catches everyone on the backside with a good vacuum wall combo when they're able to take ROTK down. Now aggressive, runs in himself, drops down the call down to the BKB. Alliance look to head out the other way. Loda looking to fight it out. Chen's there to heal him up, but he's eating too much damage. He tries to run away, and that's when Jonas strikes on in. Hits it out with a big epicenter, but Aggressive is still holding on. Him, Limp, though, are going to work. Freeze is there, turns around, gets the Laguna strike, and gets the finish onto Jonas. And now they're looking to go for Limp here. Aggressive made it away towards the high ground. A shrine was there if he'd like to take it.
Shrine was popped. Yeah, there's also another shrine for Alliance. They're healing up. They want to contest that Roche. There's no BKBs on them. Loda's ult is going to come up soon, so they still think they can fight.
Alliance, though, have already sent some members back to defend the lanes that continue to push in. I mean, Limp had already committed his ulti, so maybe he is at the better being in that bomb lane defending. Looks like Alliance are not going to be able to move in and take any sort of defense. This Roche and Aegis belong to VGJ, and that's a cheese Roche too now. Courtesy of the Frog.
They couldn't manage to take down Gyro, not even once. I'm afraid how they will manage to do it twice. And there's also a cheese on Lina right now.
Oh, a double damage also happens to be in the river nearby too. Also convenient for VGJ right now. Very concerning time for Alliance. They're just going to have to bank everything they got into a high ground defense. This game just got away from them so fast after such a commanding early game performance. From this man in particular, Handskin now finds himself far from his family and friends and just eviscerated. 40 seconds going to be gone.
Yeah, and they're going to kill all his creeps. Tier 3 tower on mid. They can actually try and go push there. Okay, Loda got that DD.
A nice little steal for him. They'll take it to the top lane and always TP back at a time in need, but
this is the problem with when you go for Mask of Madness and Echo Saber build, you either go for one of those, actually. That's the problem. It's pretty much the same item, plus Mask of Madness silences you, and you can't even activate BKB after that, so that's a big problem in a fight.
All right, there he goes. God Strength, everything he's got, looking to dish it out. Can he get the burst? Yes, he can. The first life of Aggressive will be a fast one. They wait for his second life, and it looks like Alliance are just going to be satisfied with that. Freeze maintains pressure in the bottom lane in the meantime.
Lina just handled the cheese because Gyro used the Aegis. But I still think they're going to go and try to get that tier 3 tower.
Not going to have God Strength for this defense, though, from Loda. Means a lot of the DPS is going to be nerfed here from Alliance. And Here comes Aggressive looking to clear out and force everybody backing off the tier 3. Look at the sieging power from Freeze in that low ground too. They already get that tier 3 down to half of its life.
And they're in again.
And they're back out again. Aggressive steps the other direction, soaking up the stun. Oh, Aggressive. Force forward. Now a force back. The moves in from ROTK, dropping down the wall right on top of the head of Loda. They hit him with a Laguna. Chen tries to save him with the heal. He's forced to pop a BKB, and he manages to tag the Shrine to keep himself alive. Now the approach from Jonas. Hits it in with the epicenter. Aggressive going to be forced inside. Woo. He eats the cheese and gets his life back. And now looks to turn things around onto Alliance. Alliance have just dished out what they have to offer. They hit another Shrine, and they look to defend it out. They move in. Beautiful stun connection. They get the finish onto Aggressive, and they look to go back for Freeze. Freeze tries to TP away, but they bring her down too. A double kill for Loda on this defense. He hits him so hard, it forces out a pause.
Yeah, once his ulti was up, he just went in and totally obliterated the whole VGJ team. But they almost managed to take down tier 3 tower, though. There was a lot of kiting with those 4 staffs.
Yeah,
like
that
in
was
and out, in and out.
Awkward, even for VGJ. A unique approach from Alliance, forcing Aggressive inside deep, just kind of created almost a sense of panic, I'd imagine, for VGJ's support team, just figuring out how to frantically get themselves inside. And then they end up putting themselves into a very awkward position. And as you can see, find themselves now on the sidelines for the most part. Yeah. ROTK was also brought down, I believe, at the start of that one. I can't quite remember.
No, he was fine.
Okay. Well, this is a successful hold for Alliance right now. What can they do with this? Now that they got a good defense there, yeah, it's tough for VGJ. They obviously are still going to be holding the net worth advantage. Buybacks are still available for their main cores. But,
well, Alliance can't do anything about this. It really favors VGJ. They almost took down the tier 3 tower, and Alliance can't get anything out of this. Treant is going to be out in 40 seconds if needed. He can't buy back, but Gyro can, and they really can't take that tier 3 tower from VGJ.
Yeah. I don't see how they're going to be able to use this window of time to put themselves into a better objective position in this game. Now they're looking to get the scrappy finish onto FY, who's hanging outside the base. It's actually Loda who secures that one for the triple. Is he going to be moving in and claiming the Ultra? No. Jonas will take that one away.
Well,
but that is a 5-man wipe technically at the end of the day for Alliance, and a pretty damn good mid lane hold.
Yeah, well, Lina is out in 10 seconds because of the Bloodstone charges, and Alliance can't take any objectives from this. Treant is out in 15 seconds. Maybe they can get a buyback from Gyro, but that's pretty much it. Once Loda finishes his Bloodthorn, that might be a different story for Alliance.
All right. Things may be getting on the back for Alliance once again here. They are waiting for the creep wave to come on in. Can they manage to force out a buyback here from Aggressive? Or will Aggressive take a page out of Loda's book and just hold on to this one and end up losing a Rax? Glyph is already going to be forced out now. Freeze is there. It's a buyback forced out, but this one will be from the Darkseer. So ROTK, your master high ground defender, will be there to help out, and Alliance will not push their luck any further.
Yeah, the Grand Wizard had to buy back there. With the changes, 7 to 8 minutes right now. He needs to be really careful for the next 8 minutes. There's not going to be Roche up, no cheese, no Aegis on him. So he needs to stand far, far behind.
Jump in comes out. Loda moving in. God strikes there. They're forcing it Aggressive. He is able to get off the BKB. Oh, and he makes it back inside. Alliance can't quite get the grasp onto him and get the finish with that jump. Oh.
They tried to surprise him, but good force staff from Lina just got him out of the position. Now they're on the hunt.
And it looks like FY crosses paths with EGM, hits him up with the Frostbite. Fenrir will also be there, and this Disco Goat is going to be dancing in his grave. And now we're back the other direction again for VGJ. Fortunate for Alliance. A good surprise approach, but so much defensive capabilities coming out from VGJ is making it just all too difficult for them to be able to get that burst damage.
Yeah, they know Epi is not up, no God Strength, so they're just rushing on the mid lane, trying to get that tier 3 tower down. Bloodthorn finished on Sven. This might change the fight actually for Alliance.
If it's going to be good enough for them. Oh, force in again. There's the stun. They hit him with a Bloodthorn. Limp tabs it out, but he's going to instantly pop the BKB. Begins to go for the finish on the tier 3 and will get it there. On the way out, though, Jonas feels rambunctious. Leans in, gets a good 2-man stun, but VGJ are not looking to hang around.
Alliance really can't commit to that after that Sand stun because of Treant ulti. Even if BKBs are popped, they should be careful.
Where do we stand now? Still looks like a favorable advantage for VGJ at just about a 5K net worth advantage, but as this game progresses, it feels like that number just becomes a bit more insignificant. Real unfortunate for Handskin's PC, it would appear. It seems like that little tower seems to be crashing non-stop, so unfortunate little hiccup here technically.
It's gonna be a long time since Roche respawns, and that's where the next fight's gonna happen. VGJ don't want to rush things right now, especially when Darkseer buyback is on cooldown.
What about from Alliance? Do you think that they're going to want to slow things down? What is in their best interest? If they're going to be going into a situation where for the next couple of minutes it's going to be VGJ just avoiding fights, waiting for the Roche, what can Alliance do? What do you do? I don't want to try to make up suggestions here.
Well, if you're Alliance, they need to try to make a fight happen, maybe get a hands on that Darkseer, try to smoke up. If they get the kill on the Darkseer, they might actually try to finish the game there.
That would be a huge takedown. Removing a vacuum wall from the high ground defense would definitely be a big factor for Alliance in trying to close things out. You got to remember, buyback is going to be available also for aggressive 2, though. And they could have buyback turnarounds between him and Freeze. Looks like they might be doing a total computer change out for Handskin here.
Yeah,
I'm tired of it. This computer's been crashing too much. Let's get rid of this piece of computer. ROTK still sporting that beard. He had said back at DAC in his post-game interview that he was going to be keeping the beard
until he wins the TI.
Until he wins a championship, he said. He didn't say TI, but he has that beard and he might have it for a while.
Well, I like the look. He looks like a kind of a Genghis Khan look.
Genghis Khan. Yeah, totally. He's loud like Genghis Khan too, so it totally fits. But just our second series of today. We have 3 best of 3s for you as we make our way through Group A. Tomorrow is going to be the same thing. We'll be hopping into Group B, taking down the first 2 teams and the next 2, and then doing the upper bracket of that group. So after this, it will be TNC versus the winner of this.
Yeah, TNC looking strong though.
They did
Gotta
look
admit
good.
that.
For a team that has brought in a new shot caller and coach, and have only had, according to that coach, 1437, they've only had like 2 practice games, really, 2 scrims before this event. I gotta say, taking down IG in the first round has got to be a pretty damn good accomplishment.
Oh, Loda doesn't look happy, huh?
A little frustrated, of course. I mean, no player is going to be happy in a situation like this.
Yeah,
You're trying to build up the momentum to come back in a game like this, and you know there's stops and starts, so it kind of breaks your momentum a bit.
And they need to stay focused on what they were doing in the past few minutes.
Yeah.
Just chewing that tobacco.
It's going to be a tricky thing here for Alliance to find their way back out. Very fortunate for them to be able to kind of get this opportunity. Mouse Sports not being able to participate has allowed this chance for Alliance to get in a good land showing.
Do you know the reason why?
I actually
Mouse
don't remember
didn't show up?
why they had decided to pull out. I can't even remember if they're participating in Manila Masters or Epicenter. Maybe they felt, I don't know, it could have been a visa thing too. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I managed. You were talking about 1437. I got to talk a little bit about him after the game. He says they didn't practice much. I mean, it's a new patch, of course. But I asked him why they picked the Jakiro. He said, "Well, just try Jakiro in pub. Seems like it's a strong hero, and that's it. There's no really any like mind-blowing mastermind behind that."
They found it. He works, and I would imagine they might just continue picking it until, for whatever reason, their opponent's like, all right, stop giving them that comfort pick, and we'll just force them to pick something else. But yeah, it did find a lot of success for them in those 2 games.
Seems like they're bringing the new PC for our guy.
Is that what that guy's lugging over there? Yeah, he's walking right up and through the stage right now. He's like, I got you. Oh, you know what? There might be a bit of delay here because not only are they going to have to plug that in, we'll have to hope it has Dota 2 already on it. They got
updated
settings. They have to get the config settings, I'm sure.
Yeah, this might take a while.
Might take a little bit. What do you think about VGJ in this patch?
This is the second game I see them, but I think...
I mean, you know their play style
yeah.
somewhat, and, you know, we can make kind of early assumptions as far as, you know, what play style suits best for 7.06 and what team kind of suits that play style best.
Well, the Fenrir FY duo, one of my favorite duos. I think I can speak for them as well. I think they adapt so fast, and they are not too scared to actually pick greedy lineups, which favors in this patch, I think.
The great thing for them and for duos that have been together, or at least worked together or been on teams so long, is that they've been through and transcended through all these metas that when it comes full circle and they got to pull out some of those old duos again, it's just like, we'll just dust it off and make it work because we've done this before. That's got to be a nice advantage to have on your team when you have a good support duo like that. And then you have also like Freeze, who's their newer member, and it's always been, no pun intended, it's like hot and cold performance for Freeze.
Yeah, maybe because it's Lina and Maiden.
But he's resilient, man. To be able to kind of make good comeback calls like that one in this game after being just spanked by the Chen in the early game. Good split push pressure. He pretty much earned the tier 3 tower for VGJ. Crowd's getting hyped up and ready.
Well, VGJ is the team that I feel they didn't unleash their full potential yet. They always kind of lack something to achieve big results. I feel that for a lot of teams, like they were either unlucky in getting against tougher opponents, or just kind of a misplays in the late game, inexperience you would call it. But first team that comes to my mind is actually a team that we have right here. It's Team Liquid.
Okay.
Like, reminds me of VGJ actually, for the same reason.
Liquid will be seeing play tomorrow when we jump over to their group. That's going to be another team that I am very curious how their 7.06 is going to be. Talking about a team that was pulling out a good share. All right, then. A good share of Naga games and such, but we know that hero's been nerfed pretty hard.
I don't think Naga suited their playstyle with the recent changes in forest and creep stacking. I think they're going to have enough farm for everyone. Like you need to feel 27k desire to kill creeps.
According to, I believe it was Matama Man, he was already super stoked about the patch just because there was so many more creeps and they have so many greedy farming players on their team, 9k players on their team who love farm, that now everybody gets to share a little bit more of the wealth with each other. I don't know how greedy of a go Liquid we're going to have tomorrow, but we'll have to see. Have we been seeing a lot of Midases? We've seen a couple, but...
Yeah, I think Midas is...
do you think it's dying out? Do you think it's still going to be a thing?
I think it's going to be something different. Not everyone's going to get Midas like in previous patch. There were games with 5 Midases in one team that was just insane.
Yeah. I mean, but I think
you don't want to watch that. Like, people farm with 5 Midases until it gets to one point where they clash and just win a team fight.
Looks like they are still down there by Hanskin's desk, plugging in the new PC. One that won't crash as much, hopefully.
Yeah, this patch seems so fun. I didn't have time to actually play a single game.
Yeah,
we were on the road. But still, I can't wait to get home and just play some Dota.
Any particular hero or item or anything you're excited about that you want to try out for yourself?
Shadow Shaman and Phoenix, probably.
Shadow Shaman.
Shadow Shaman, yeah.
Got
I mean, that hero is just insane.
Got
in the
that
lane.
Additional base damage buff. The dude's jacked as hell. These hits like for 75 or 76 or something like that. Offlaners are going to cry.
Yeah, and he's a ranged hero. I don't think any any hero has that high base damage, especially the ranged one.
Any chance we could see teams actually take that kind of potential and, I don't know, put Xiaoshang in the mid lane or something like that, or give him a core position?
I don't think he's viable mid because he's so goddamn slow. I mean, you have no escape mechanism. You're just so easy to gank. Even if you get Windlace boots, you're still slow.
What else did you say? You said
Phoenix.
Yeah. They already talked about Phoenix quite a bit at the panel. His talents are great, and now that new talent of the XP just seems like a blessing. And with Tree kind of still in the meta, we could still see Tree Phoenix as a potential combo for some teams.
Oh, that's just insane combo. We've seen that from Liquid. I expect them to actually pick that. One thing that comes to my mind is Brewmaster. I mean, it's picked this game, but it still didn't unleash his full potential, especially when sieging the base. What OG tried to do is pair him up with Arc Warden in one game during the Kiev Major. I think that's so strong, but they didn't manage to pull it off. You just pull the bubble and use the Earth Panda to kill the Raxes. It's pretty much the same thing as before with Invoker and Panda combo.
I would agree with you. It's been nice to see the Brew, but I haven't felt like this is a crazy Brew game. I'm not like, oh my god, this is the beginning of the Brew meta or anything like that. It felt like he offers a bit of inconvenience for people like Aggressive, like throwing him up in the air and such, but it doesn't feel like at the end of the day that the Brew is a very scary factor for Alliance right now.
What do you feel about your favorite hero in the game? We all know which one is that.
Causal?
Yeah.
I love the change. I mean, I wasn't picking... Oh, no, I was picking already the minus respawn time, and I'm certainly not going to be picking the bonus XP at level 15, so I just get the free, 300 mana Chakra Magic? I think that's pretty swell. I'll take the free 300 mana. I'm sure my team or whomever's playing with Coddle will enjoy the extra mana too. Does look like Henskin has his computer, and he's probably going to work his way back into the game. May have some configurations to still sort out, so... Even though we see him there on the machine, there might be a chance we are going to still be waiting just a little bit.
That's the first thing you need when you're competing.
Oh,
you need a PC. Okay, he got it.
Woo! All right, folks. Sorry again about the delays, but it looks like we're going to get back and underway. This is game number 2 of our second best of 3 for you today. Group A action for...
And it's paused.
For Star Ladder. And it looks like we have a little bit of FPS issues here, some FPS drops. That's got to be pretty funny. They have the ROTK Jiaoyu chat wheel with ROTK in-house.
ROTK doesn't need a chat wheel. The man shouts loud enough for everyone to hear him here.
And we're gonna maybe finally get underway. Okay, we're back into it now. Again, game number 2. VGJ already have the game 1 victory. Alliance started this game in a commanding position. I'm talking about like nearly an 8K net worth advantage. Their Hanskin Chen was just unmercifully beating down Freeze in the mid lane. Loda was farming spectacularly. And then things shifted quite a bit. VGJ were taking over. They took down the first tier 3 of the game. They were in total control. And then since then, Alliance put up a hella defense in the mid lane. 5-man wiped VGJ, and now we're in this bit of an awkward period where this game is kind of almost back even again.
Yeah, even though it's a 5K network lead for VGJ, it still feels like a pretty even game. But look at the net worth. Lina, highest net worth, and we remember how bad of a start she had.
Yep. That Sumail factor almost. Getting beat down hard and then just kind of taking that tilting power and turning into some good-ass play. And now he's found himself neck and neck of top worth between him and Loda and Aggressive. And, man, they are just seriously having way too much fun with this chat wheel.
Yeah, I didn't expect the team. It's good that we see that what they're using and chatting.
If you had a chat wheel saying, what would your saying be?
I don't know. Stack the creeps, I guess, in this meta, in this patch.
You wouldn't have your own personalized, customized line. Yeah, the Lacoste line of
it wouldn't be available, man. It would be something weird. Oh,
some Croatian. All right. Obviously, as you were saying before, this is a bit of a stall period for both teams. Attention's going to be on the next Roche to come up, which it looks like the possible timer. I think that's the possible timer is about to come up. Oh,
right.
Is that a max timer? I think it just spawned the max timer for Roche too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Fortunate for Lions, they were already at the pit looking to scout it out. Both teams are going to be hanging around this area, I'm sure, very soon.
Feels like this game lasts so long. It's only 42 minutes.
That's the pauses.
Yeah, pauses, crashes, problems, but we're still here. Fenrir wants to buy another force staff, so it should be like a triple force staff.
With the success of the force staff so far, I can't really blame them. It's been so good to like get aggressive out of a bind and also just kite away from Lotus Sven as much as possible. Looks like Jonas has picked up an Invis rune. It's about to expire. He's been able to scout things out for Alliance. They were thinking about a possible approach, but looks like VGJ reinforcements are close by and they're not looking to risk it.
Seems like they want to smoke. Yeah, they just did.
Oh, look at that ward from Alliance, though. Good, very deep vision there. And they pop their smoke now, it looks like. And could have the other side. It's going to take a bit, though. Roche nowhere near up.
Chen just scouting the Roche pit with the siege creep. So, okay, they just killed it with an illusion. Roche should be up in the next 40 seconds.
Question is the Alliance going to be there prepared for it? They've got that top lane push back pretty good here. Looks like EGM's been kind of dealing with that. For VGJ, they move in to get rid of the second shrine now, which is great because that would have been a great access point for Alliance if they wanted to TP there for a Roche response. But Alliance are actually already dishing out their own response. They've smoked up from their mid lane and are beelining it the other direction. Oh, what a scan. VGJ actually scanned right on top of where Alliance is. And then Alliance scanned right on top of where VGJ is. Freeze! Able to somehow sidestep that burrow. Limps looking to come in on in. Pops out the ulti. They burst through ROTK. He's going to be taken out of this one without a buyback or a say. But here goes aggressive. He pops down the flat cannon and targets out Loda. Begins to force him back. Jonas looking to help out. Moves in with a burrow strike and the epicenter there. Freeze on the other side. Finds himself up in arms with Loda. There goes the root. Aggressive. Caught within the creeps. Ends up going down. He also doesn't have a buyback. And this is all Alliance in this fight. They're looking to move in, get the grab onto Freeze here. He gets a force forward, turns around, goes for the deny.
It's time for Alliance to actually get the Roche right now and just try to siege the base. Good pickup on Darkseer. I mean, Darkseer didn't have a buyback, so he needs to be more careful about his positioning.
Nearly a 4.5K net worth swing off that one. VGJ right now banking on stalling from the push of that bottom lane, but it looks like Alliance are not even going to step back for the Roche on this one. They are looking to truck down this mid lane, maybe even force out some buybacks if possible, but Aggressive actually doesn't have a buyback here. He's still going to be out for about 40 seconds. ROTK, 10 more seconds could be there for defense, but Alliance are already moving in, and this tier 3 is done for, and it looks like this could be a first set of racks for them.
And they're not done. They're continuing to top.
No, they are not.
27 seconds for Gyro.
ROTK's back now. Alliance are about to chunk down this tier 3. ROTK moves in, gets a good 5-man vacuum wall combo, but they just turn right onto him, and they'll be able to bring him down. Alliance now forced to deal with all these illusions. If ROTK was planning on stalling him a bit, it helped for now. Freeze is back, and they need 3 more seconds for Aggressive to get to attendance here. Alliance back on the grind. Are going to be able to get the next racks down. Can they get the final 4th one here? This is when Aggressive looks to make his move. Steps in with the call down and is able to chunk down Loda.
Whoa, gets sent back.
Oh no, you're right. Loda sent back home. Beautiful save there coming out from Handskin. And then they will just zap Limp. He is out of this one. The Roche is up, and we'll see if VGJ head that direction right now. Loda and Alliance claim 2 sets of racks and get themselves in a better position.
Yeah, that Dark Seer pick-off really paid off for them. Do they want to contest Roche? That's the question. If Panda buys back, they got 2 sets of racks. They should really be happy about it. All right, EGM popping some music.
Feeling himself on the way back to base here. VGJ still working their way through this. This is not a quick Roche. Not one bit. It's going to take a lot of time for them to chunk through it, but it looks like they should be able to grab it nonetheless. And it will be attention back on Alliance for their possible defense here.
Once Loda sells one of his items, probably a Mask of Madness. Okay, there is a full MKB ready on him.
Jonas up in arms with ROTK here is going to be forced to go for the BKB TP, but Fenrir has the ulti and will help cancel it out. Jonas is going to be taken out of this one. He does have a buyback, but otherwise he's going to be sitting on those sidelines for about 80 seconds.
Treant had to commit to ulti there because of the recent changes. His first spell doesn't bash anymore. It's a root, but you can't go through BKB.
Alliance will scrap their way through the bottom half of this map right now. VGJ, though, back on the warpath and down this mid lane. They're going to be at a bit of a disadvantage in this lane push, as Alliance have already claimed the mid set of racks here, but slowly and surely, VGJ are coming on in here. This may end up forcing Jonas into a buyback for this defense. Looks like Aggressive may have been able to accumulate enough money for a buyback this time if necessary. He gets hit with the early Bloodthorn and then pops his flat cannon to get everyone a little bit of that slow. Now back to work. Can VGJ even up the base damage a bit? It looks like we're going to be having a bit of a pause. Loda obviously not too.
All right. Maybe you shouldn't give the password out, huh?
All right, well, apparently somehow the TeamSpeak has been invaded. That's awkward. And they're messing around with Alliance, it would appear here, so that's not good. Hopefully they get that situated. Don't want to be having someone trolling in your ear as you're trying to defend your series.
Well, maybe that was an Alliance fan just...
Maybe it was someone from Liquid or something.
Liquid?
Wow. Or some random team getting in on the action. I don't know. That is unfortunate. These things happen. It's day 1 of LAN. It's always a bumpy start, and then things end up soothing over by day number 2. Maybe even by the later half of this day, we'll be flying through things.
Yeah, they're happening right now, so the problems won't occur later. It's a good thing. Not a good thing for Alliance, though, but...
Well, the position they're in at this moment, it's it almost feels do or die. I imagine they're going to have some buybacks available here, but I'm not sure how committed Alliance are going to be to defending this mid lane. If it's to go down, it will only even things up in the game. So,
yeah, VGJ is just trying to kill that range racks. They still have Aegis on Gyro and the Cheese on Darkseer. So, plus they have a Hexed. Whoa. Someone is really angry. What is going on?
Apparently someone's in their TeamSpeak now. Oh, I don't know, or something went wrong. Well, whatever. We'll have to wait here. Fortunately, we can't even look at the Dota game to scout out what's been going on in there.
How was your flight here?
It was pretty good. I watched a lot of prison documentaries. Is that dark?
No, it's...
I thought it kind of was fascinating. It was on Netflix.
All right. Well,
12-hour flight otherwise.
USA prisons, South American prisons.
USA for the most part.
Most part,
yeah. San Quentin, very popular prison. The Folsom prison's very popular. It's where Johnny Cash played. What about you? How was your flight?
Yeah, it was pretty long.
How long was your flight? Where'd you come from?
4 hours to Zagreb. Then from Frankfurt, had to take 1.5 hour flight, then wait 1.5 hour, then another like 10 or 11 hours to Shanghai, plus 1 hour from the airport to the hotel. So pretty long, but I got some sleep yesterday.
It's good though. It's only your second LAN, and your first time as a caster at a LAN, and you're already getting your first technical long pause delay. So
yeah, I'm no
this
longer
is just a rite of passage.
Technical issues virgin, not anymore.
No. Rite of passage here.
Yeah, you don't want to pick a nose when you're on a stream. What's going on?
I don't know what's happening here for Alliance. We came into this pause because apparently someone was in their team speak. You can see the frustration. Apparently, I don't know if they just okay. Apparently, there's just something going on with their headsets. The player headsets are making some ridiculous feedback noises. Or my theory would be that whoever the troll person is in this TeamSpeak is probably playing some ridiculous noises loudly. But
well, maybe
whatever.
It's just the time to switch to another server.
Whatever. We shouldn't pay more attention to the trouble. We'll be keeping tabs on this until the action gets back underway. Let's look at the grand scheme of this tournament so far. Tomorrow we have another group to go through, another set of teams. Who do we have? We have Liquid, we have Faceless, we have Vega, and we have...
who else is there?
Who's that team?
Newbie.
Newbie
Yeah.
is the one of the team. Anybody in that group you're excited about seeing here? A lot of, faces that we haven't seen on LAN in a while on that side.
I want to see Liquid, and I want to see Liquid doing good
Really?
this particular patch. Yeah, I mentioned that I feel the same way that I feel about VGJ. They still haven't unleashed the full potential. So, okay, we have a Liquid versus Faceless tomorrow, first game, Newbie versus Vega. Didn't see a lot of Vega recently. There was so much action going on, couldn't really pay attention.
Yeah, there was a lot of qualifier action this week, and Vega were able to get a lot of qualifier time in. They came up a bit short in a couple of those qualifiers, but here they are on LAN. This is a team of familiar faces that we've seen. They did lose Mag recently. Mag jumped ship all the way to sea and is going to be playing there, but still a lot of confidence in the new Vega squad. I believe it was Nahaz, who was at Dream League this week, said that Vega still looked very good, even with Aftershock as their recent offlaner grab. And,
all right, headsets are on. Seems like we might be going into the game again.
Don't speak too soon.
Yeah,
What about Faceless, though? I mean, Faceless was a team that was like best-of-1 champions. They were able to kind of pull out these upsets, but remember what happened to Kiev. They managed to make their way through that first round, taking down TNC. That was an upset to a lot of people.
Well, to a lot of people maybe, but we talked about it on the panel. The TNC pretty much always loses a best-of-3 against Faceless, so there was no surprise.
Do you think Faceless have any chance like that against a team like Liquid at all, though?
Well, I think a lot of people are actually underrating Team Faceless. It's hard to play against them because you have to ban out pretty much the whole Ice hero pool.
That's right.
This is the same thing when you're playing against ROTK. You also ban out like three, maybe even 4 out of 5 heroes you spend on his bans.
Remove his comfort picks. Yeah, certainly. It's definitely been a working
do you
formula.
think he looks uncomfortable? Not at all. Maybe a little bit of angry.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like whatever he had for lunch could be coming back up. Looks like they're still going to be sorting through this. He's got that one hair sticking up. Like that antenna. Look at that thing. That's a headset hair. It's an unfortunate thing for gamers. You ever had that problem, headset hair?
Well, I just got the
dent?
Yeah.
You just get that one little dent.
Well,
if you go out in public and they're like,
if you see a guy, you're outside in a club and you see he has a den. You
that
just go
guy's a
like,
gamer, bro. Okay, and we're suddenly back into the game, and suddenly the Rax is down in mid lane. All right, here we go. Freeze. Sieging away. Limp's going to make his move in. That's going to be the clap. Aggressive stuck in a bit of trouble here, but there goes the friendly 4-staff army coming out from VGJ's backliners, and they'll get him into a good safety pocket. The slow siege so far very successful for VGJ. Jonas is back now, though. And they have everyone at attendance here for their defense.
Yeah, they need to be careful right now. Aggressive is on
Oh!
half HP.
Loda moving in.
Ah,
But,
some sneaky plays.
yeah, almost your poor man's Kunkka X play there, I guess. I don't know. Send him in and teleport him right back home. Ooh! They keep trying to go for that aggressive force staff. Freeze! As they make the jump, it's the Brew moving way in back. They almost bring him down, but he's able to get the ulti off, and they're going to turn it right around on very aggressive. That's going to cost him the Aegis now. Freeze. Looking to move for isolation, but look at this Loda from behind. Almost able to obliterate Freeze, but Freeze is able to make it up. But no, the bird comes out from the Bloodthorn, and they're able to bring him down, and it's going to be Alliance holding out a strong defense here. Buyback already going to be forced out from aggressive, but they get a hold of ROTK. He tries to surge and run, but they got the Yules waiting for him, and they'll take him down.
It's a 4-man wipe plus buyback from aggressive. The thing is, they focused everything they had on that Panda, but didn't have enough damage to take him down.
So close. They couldn't quite do it, though, and now it's suddenly Alliance going down the other direction. A buyback will also be forced out from Freeze. What is FY up to? Look at this man. He's inside the base, ratting it out, looking to go for the other racks here.
You don't see that often. Like Crystal Maiden pushing your racks is...
Oh, Limp's here now. Hits him with the Drunken Haze. He's actually missing the racks. Can he get the finish? He got it done. Crystal Maiden goes down. She doesn't have a buyback, though, to be here at this defense, while Aggressive is going to be the one trying to hold it out, dishing out the flank cannon. Him and Freeze hiding behind their racks. Lotus steps back for now. The Glyph is going to be forced out. Jonas makes his move in with the Epicenter, but it's very ineffective. Freeze pops his BKB, and they're able to shrug it off, and now it's going to be Alliance looking to go in for the Megas, and they might have just done it. It looks like they will finally be able to bring it down. Alliance clear out the whole base, and it's VGJ who are now going to have to deal with the Mega Army.
I don't know if they have enough to deal with the Megas. Okay, Lina pushes the lane, Gyro pushes the lane. Might be a time for Gyro to actually consider getting a Divine Rapier if he has enough time. Everyone on Alliance is so farmed.
Yeah. They get what they want, they pull right back out, and they have Shrines to gobble up now. It's pressure on VGJ. They have a decent enough lineup to fend off Megas, but to be able to take this all the way to the other side seems a bit too steep of a climb right now for them. Unless they, heed your advice, pick up something like the Rapier here. It's just going to be a bit too tough, it would feel.
Yeah, but everyone on Alliance has a buyback ready. That's the problem. Even if they take them down, they can still fight, and they can actually fight without ulti on even Sven with his item build right now. He deals so much damage even if the ulti isn't popped. Well, Alliance should just take it slow. When is the next row? Should spawn not so soon though, but if they want to take it safe, they might just consider.
It just feels like the Rosh should spawn soon because of those pauses, but there's still quite a bit of time here. Okay, Freeze finds Jonas, wants to take him out, can't quite do it. That's when Loda makes his move in. He will get forced back and actually through the wall here, but they quickly just get rid of ROTK. He really stands no chance at all. Now Loda looking to make a move in for FY. Gets locked in place from the Frostbite. Freeze is looking to move on over to help him out while it's going to be aggressive. Caught up in arms with the Brewmaster. Now pops his BKB, making the move back in. Should be able to get the finish on Loda, and Loda will go down. Has a buyback available too, but not looking to dish it out quite yet. It looks like VGJ may be able to take down Alliance on this one and hold things out. But Limp is able to move in and get the finish onto FY. Now he's thinking about swinging it with Aggressive, but Aggressive pops that
mid
cheese
lane
and keeps good now. But look at their base. Just this mega creeps have just wiped out the tier 4s and only left the Ancient exposed.
Everyone on Alliance bought back. It is time to finish the game right now.
Lions hoping to clean the rest of their plate here. VGJ are hoping to hold on to everything they got, but yeah, this is looking nearly impossible for them. We'll have to see what they're going to be capable of doing now as Alliance step themselves back indoors. Aggressive with almost what feels like a zoning call down. I'm not sure if the vacuum was committed there from ROTK. They step over to the other side. They're going to be able to catch Limp with a Laguna, but he just pops out the ulti now. And they quickly Cyclone up, aggressive, and go right for the Ancient instead, and should be able to get the finish from behind. It was a long and very dirty game. Lots of technical flubs, unfortunately, but at the end of it, Alliance have finally been able to do it. This was a game that they started up in front, a commanding early game performance from their Chen, and then the game slipped totally away from them. But now it's right back in their arms, and they're going to be able to claim the finish.
Yeah, after all these troubles, Alliance seems to stay calm and just finish it really easily. They got the hands on Darkseer 2 times, even the third time again, and with the wrong focus from VGJ, they tried to focus Panda down like 2 times. They couldn't do it. It cost them the game.
It was a long and very exhausting one, I'd imagine, for both of the teams, but they're going to have to try their best to shake that one off and battle it back for a game number 3. So with that said, why don't we go ahead and throw things back over to our panel right now. Let's see what Nahaz and the gang are up to.
Welcome back to the Starladder I-League Invitational as we are well into our second series of the day, and we're going to have a Game 3. Alliance ties the series against VGJ. I'm going to bring my panel back in because, guys, we were right. 4-0, all 4 of us had Alliance in that game, but I don't think anybody expected that match to unfold the way it did.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, even after they took that lane of Brax, I felt like I was still pretty confident in Alliance. It's hard because they just didn't have the high ground and the late game potential to really close out that game as VGJ. So even though they were outplaying Alliance and they did certain things that they shouldn't really have accomplished, like Lina being able to take the bottom tier 3, like those sort of things happened that shouldn't have happened, they still weren't able to close out the game. And they also made a couple of notable 7.06 errors for sure, one of which was pushing in the mid lane. Bad idea. It's essentially the same. Yeah. They worked off of 3 shrines.
I think that probably gets changed for what it's worth.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, while it's here, though, you know, you got to make sure that you hit those side lanes first because it's a little bit crazy otherwise. And I felt like it was just a really well-designed early game for them. Like, they kept on ganking mid over and over again and finding those kills on the Lina that really slowed down Freeze's progression. And then you saw there was, like, a couple of good movements. The gyrocopter TP in, it looked like it was going to be a really good fight defending the tower, and then it ended up not quite being able to execute for the full kill onto that gyro. So by and large, VGJ had like good movements around the map, but it always felt like they were a little behind.
You always get very interesting games with Alliance, it seems. You had that was a 110-minute game with Na'Vi. You had this one that ended up being more interesting. I want to focus on kind of the cores and the draft philosophy here. So you have a lot of control, a lot of early push. The Brewmaster obviously offers a ton of control in early fights, and you have the single core Sven for the most part that is doing most of your damage. I feel like Alliance's early game execution, while it hit certain points, wasn't ideal for them. They wanted to be able to finish the game sooner or secure a larger advantage. Sven has this issue as a core where if you choose the itemization, if you get that blink or BKB too early, you lack damage, but you're hard to control in fights. If you get it too late, then we saw a situation here where it was easy to kite him around with the tree, with the Darkseer to keep him from dealing his damage. So VGJ, it seems, made it past that most dangerous part of the game. They were able to get BKBs up on their own relatively squishy cores and looked like they were in good shape for a little bit. But then, as the game went even longer, eventually the BKB durations get shorter for them. They are still kind of vulnerable and squishy cores, would rely a lot on burst damage to be able to take down Alliance heroes, and at some point they weren't able to do that or stay alive themselves. So ultimately, it swung back and forth a little bit from being not in Sven's favor back to being in his favor, like the longer the game went. So
yeah, and this is really reflective of what you're saying there, Jack, that the single core strategy by Alliance, most of the damage output really tilted toward the Sven, whereas VGJ have the 2 cores that are really both capable of dealing out tremendous amounts of damage. But at the end of the day, the control from Alliance, eventually the Brewmaster and the Leshrac, your other heroes, they get items and they can sort of make up that damage gap.
Yeah, and I felt like the other thing is that damage, it probably would have been like 20K more on Sven had it not been for the defensive force staff play too that we kept on seeing out of him. We were watching in the mid lane there, and Cap, you were sort of talking about the initiation that came out with the Sand King and the Epicenter onto Gyrocopter, and they just like blew him up, and the force staff kind of saved his life there. Otherwise, the game could have ended at that point potentially.
Yeah, it's just like you don't really care where he goes as long as he just gets away from that Sven, who is such a terror. Jesus, that guy hits so goddamn hard. Now with the increase in strength and overall
he's
damage,
so much harder to bring down.
And Bloodthorn, I think is a great item for him as well. Yeah, it's there's a lot of tough parts to deal with Sven, and I think VGJ, they came so close to actually being able to win out this game. If they just played it a little bit better, a couple things like they didn't get, like they took that bottom laner racks, they took the shrines and everything, and the amount of gold that they got back from that, you could see the effect, particularly on the gyrocopter, who was lacking damage. In a previous patch, you make that play where you take that lane of racks and you get the shrines after that, and you're looking at a lot more team gold after you've taken those objectives, and they'd be able to go high ground a lot easier. And then again, choosing to go high ground in mid is definitely hurt them. I mean, if they do that same push in the top lane, I think they win that fight. They wipe Alliance and they end the game. But they chose to go mid. They got all 3 shrines were utilized by the Sven. I think all 3 of them, and they were just able to fight it out. So VGJ definitely learned some valuable lessons about 7.06, I think, and I still think they're playing better than Alliance. If this draft is anywhere close, I'm going to lean towards VGJ.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the Alliance had, and there's a reason that we were 4-0 on the panel in favor of Alliance. Yeah. I do think Alliance had the better draft, but I think you saw in some of the key engagements that the execution was better on the side of VGJ. The thing I saw again, just as our officials, it feels like some of these mid matchups really spiraling out of control. I mean, Freeze's Lena just looked like he was never going to get into the game.
Yeah. Well, and you saw that earlier too in like the earlier CHTNC versus IG. It doesn't even necessarily have to be kills. It can just be one hero dominating the other, and then if that happens, you have to bring those other heroes, because otherwise, we saw what Cuckoo did with his OD, where he just went nuts on IG. So I think that I'm going to go back to what I said at the start of it, that if Alliance are going to win this, it needs to be around like IO strategies, which they work with really well. And I feel like that team plays around IO so well.
You don't think it's just going to be an auto first phase ban, though? I think
that's what I'm thinking, is that IO and Chen, I think, might be the first 2 bans for VGJ. And barring that, I find it hard for them to come back in the draft afterwards.
Okay. Well, we are going to take a quick break here. As we've said, we do have a Game 3 on the way in just a few minutes. We'll run a couple minutes of ads, and we will see you back here to break down our final game of the second series.